Right. Hello. Hello world.
Oh, we're actually streaming.
We're live. We are live. Hello everybody.
And this is streaming on the Google Plus and on our Live at Lunch page.
That's right. And I'm just going to have a little. Good. We've just got a couple of minutes before we launch in, and I just want to make sure that we are streaming on Facebook. So just to say, you can watch the show, the Social Media Hangouts. You can watch us here on Google Plus. You can watch us on YouTube, which will be coming through in 30 seconds, according to the countdown. Wow. Here we are. Hello, everybody. And this is streaming. We're going to do, let me make sure we're on the right place here. Here we are. What we're going to do, I'm going to monitor the Google Plus channel, and Lisa's going to monitor the Facebook channel. She's here with her laptop, so we are multitasking here. So if you do have any questions, because we're going to be talking about some really exciting, interesting things today, if you have got questions, you can either put them in the Google Plus comments for the event or on Facebook. So one of us will pick them up, hopefully.
Absolutely.
So without much ado, should we? Do you know what I realised, Lisa, last week we didn't introduce ourselves.
Who are you?
I don't think we really introduced ourselves, did we?
Move the camera over. I've got the whole screen and you're just sitting on the edge.
Hello. I don't want to tread on your foot. There we are. So I thought, shall we quickly introduce ourselves and just say who we are? Well, I'll start then, shall I?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cassie Hicks-Kerr from Modern Marketing Spark, and I know Lisa from a local networking group. We've been pals for a while. But what I'm very much is fun. I like your explanation actually, Lisa. That we both love social media. So Lisa and I, we run our own businesses. We run home-based businesses. We love social media, but we've got very, very different businesses, haven't we? MM Spark, Modern Marketing Spark, my business is a full service digital marketing agency. So we're actually running clients' social media accounts and working on websites and all sorts of good stuff like that. And also doing a lot of training and speaking. And then I'll let Lisa introduce herself. But actually where we complement each other is that MM Spark, you call it the university level. I love doing the strategy and the sort of the testing different advanced strategies, as well as sort of basic core strategies. But I love learning new things and trying out different things and seeing how many leads can I generate for my business and for clients, and how much traffic can I generate. And for me, I just love the intellectual challenge of it and the fun of social media. So that's me. Thank you for letting me introduce myself.
And I'm Lisa Nichols, and I don't. I do social media for mummies is more, I say preschool, but let's say if you're not really sure about social media, about marketing, you're brilliant at what you do, your own business, you're good at being in your zone of genius. But, you know, what's the difference between the Facebook that you use to keep in touch with your friends and family, and how do you use that to advance your business, and what is a hashtag, and should I be on Google Plus? And all the things that we're going to talk about today is the end of the spectrum that I'm more interested in. Other business pals who are having a hard time just getting started and feeling overwhelmed. So I've got the preschool, there is no such thing as a stupid question. Cassie's got the university, and what we've got together is high school, haven't we? So Absolutely. We've created Modern Marketing Club, which is the step-by-step, learn something and implement it each week, so that in 6-8 weeks time you're 100% further forward than you were when you started. So we take the overwhelm out of it. So separately, preschool or infants and university, collectively high school. Is that about right?
Yeah, and that's why we're here, because we see a need for sort of bite-sized information, a bit of fun, light-hearted. It's only 30 minutes, but every other week we're going to cover a social media topic that's going to help you to build your business with social media, but without, as Lisa says, without all the overwhelm. So today we're going to talk about which social media platform should you be on. And that might sound like a really basic thing. When we first talked about doing this, and I thought, oh, that sounds really basic and a bit obvious, but actually I've been doing some training recently, and that was the question that kept coming up in the training session. And these were quite experienced marketers, some of them, of should I be on Pinterest? Should we be on Twitter? What about Facebook? And what happened with this particular group, it was quite interesting actually, was that within a company, I think I was training a team of 10 people. They actually split into groups. They got a LinkedIn team and a Facebook team and a Twitter team. Now, obviously, if you're running a small business, you don't have the luxury of having a team of 10 people and captains and content strategies for each individual team. You might, if it's just you and a couple of other people, you've obviously got to be a bit more focused. We thought it'd be quite useful to talk about some of the major platforms, some of our experiences. We've got quite different experiences actually, which is quite interesting in itself, isn't it? And then the pros and cons for different businesses of the different platforms. So shall we launch straight in? Yeah,
I think the first thing that I would add to that is it depends on you and it depends on your business, because as a huge generalization, any platform that you are on consistently, that you kind of know how it works and that you engage with, is going to be the best platform. So what we're trying to break down today is what are the differences between the platforms without teaching anyone how to suck eggs. And then you can make the decision for yourself. So there is no definite answer, but we'll just go over what we feel from our experience has been useful. And obviously, you know, Cassie does a lot of work with clients. I've got a networking group, so I do a lot of work with the girls in my networking group. Let me say that twice. So not only do we have our own experience, we have the experience of, you know, friends and clients as well. So start off with a big one. I think most people are either watching this through Facebook or Google+. So from a Facebook point of view, we tend to find that a lot of people, I think the stats are that every other human being on the planet has an account now. So, you know, it's a great big platform with a lot of people on it. Most guys have their own personal Facebook account. They kind of used to the platform because they do their own personal stuff with friends and family on it. And so we just need to make the transition to, okay, so what is a page? What is a group? How do you maximize that? And to use one of Cassie's expressions from the Modern Marketing Club, you know, that it's no surprise to anybody that Facebook is a pay-to-play platform. So just putting up a page and expecting people to visit you and engage isn't the name of the game anymore. And we go through different strategies on how to do that. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to be targeted. And we go through that in the Modern Marketing Club. We were going to say what the difference between that and Twitter was, because we've got, we find amongst our mutual friends and separately as well, that Twitter is a bit of a Marmite. You're either on it all the time and you love it and you understand how it works, or you're completely put off by it and you don't see the point in it, and why would you, and what is the hashtag anyway? So you're going to do a bit of work on Twitter, aren't you, Cass?
Yeah, and just to add to something you said about Facebook, Lisa, as well, and we were talking about this earlier, that in terms of business and generating leads, Facebook, I think the way I look at it, it's not necessarily pay to play. If you want to I look at it turning on a tap. If you want to turn the tap on quickly, then yeah, pay to play, definitely. But the other alternative to Facebook is an organic engagement strategy. But I would say realistically that, again, most of the people that we know, and I know the people that I work with, that sort of strategy, if you're going to do it for free, is really, really time intensive. It's a content marketing strategy. You've got to be posting a lot, because if you look at the stats from some of the sort of like the Facebook gurus, they're posting, 10 times a day. Sandy Krakowski talks about posting at least 10 times a day. And I don't know about you, even with scheduling tools, posting 10 times a day and then being in the, she says go in for a minute every once an hour during the day. That is really, really time intensive, and I'm sure it does work, but I don't think I know anyone that's got that sort of time. So unless you've got that sort of time to commit, and then again, that's just working on one platform, you are looking at pay to play in terms of, I will say turning on the tap.
And we covered on the last Hangout about scheduling tools, because if I can sort of hear what people are saying who are listening, oh, well, in that case, I would schedule them. But as we covered last time, scheduling is a good idea and does have its place when you're disseminating information. But as far as engagement and people responding to what you're saying and you responding to what they said to what you said, you can't schedule that, and it stands out like a sore thumb when a post has been scheduled, especially when you say the exact same thing on every platform. Because going back to the point of today's talk, each platform has a different etiquette, it has a different dynamic. You know, it's like going to a New Year's Eve party and a christening, and they're all Hangouts, I was going to say, but you know, they're all a group of people, but yeah, community, there you go. They're all slightly different communities, and you do stand out like a sore thumb if you turn up at a christening in a Tom and Jerry outfit. You know, you can tell that you're not in the right place. You know, you're not properly dressed, you're not yeah. So let's go back to what we were talking about. So Twitter, yeah, you were going to say a couple of things about Twitter, weren't you?
I've had a love-hate relationship with Twitter. I think what's really interesting about Twitter, and actually, can I just step back and say one thing? We were talking earlier about networking as well, and I was saying to Lisa, one of the things I do after a networking meeting, when I've got a pile of business cards, I've got a stack here from yesterday of people's leaflets and things, is I go and I connect with them on social media. So I go and I look at whether they've got a LinkedIn profile, Facebook page. I usually do LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and possibly Google+. Though most people don't tend to be socialising Google+, that I've found. And what's interesting is that, Twitter's probably the least used of the platforms compared to, say, having a LinkedIn profile and a Facebook profile and or page. But I found that Twitter is actually a fantastic way to build traffic if you focus on it. So again, you can't just go into Hootsuite and schedule loads of posts on Twitter and expect to have a massive following, because it doesn't work. You're just broadcasting, you're not engaging.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm doing, it was interesting, I was talking to a lady earlier who's got a very big Twitter following, over 20,000 followers on Twitter. But again, not much engagement. So it's a bit like having a Facebook page with thousands of fans, but no one's engaging with you. And that doesn't work for your business. That doesn't generate leads and doesn't get you any sales. So that's just boosting your ego to say, oh, I've got 10,000 followers on Facebook or what have you. It doesn't mean anything, does it?
We like making ourselves look big and clever, but if you're actually doing it for a business where you want to actually earn some money.
Yeah, if you actually want to get clients, or you want to sell products, or you want a pipeline of new business, and you want to keep that going consistently, you have to engage on social media. So going back to Twitter, I'm actually doing some experiments on Twitter at the moment. I've got some new strategies that I think what I'll do actually, Lisa, is we'll schedule a webinar for Modern Marketing Club members.
Genius.
We'll do a special webinar on Twitter, because I've got a couple of strategies, one of which has come from Dawn and Tracy, who we love.
Yep.
And what I'm finding with Twitter, you've got the things like the Twitter chats, you can have lists on Twitter. So that means that I think one of the things that people find difficult about Twitter, I don't know if you agree with this, is that there's so much information. You go into Twitter and then every second there's all these tweets happening. Unless you're really focused on actually looking for certain keywords or following certain hashtags or following certain trends or conversations that are going on, it is just overwhelming. And you just sit there and it's like reading a news feed, isn't it? But if you have a couple of strategies on Twitter, like a hashtag strategy, or you're searching particular keywords, it's really powerful. And actually what I'm starting to find is that Twitter is one of the best ways to drive traffic to a website. And for me, I don't know, again, it depends on what your goals are with your business. But if you want to get more people to your website, then Twitter's worth looking at, but not if you hate Twitter.
It's one of the, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking of loads of ding moments of things that have happened this week via Twitter. But for a half an hour live at lunch, trying to give our viewers, listeners, an overview, it really is going to be better for you to do a webinar and drill down on that, because there's so many fors and against. You know, I sat in the front row watching Brian Solis at One Fest yesterday. How did I do that? Because Kim Gask was broadcasting via Periscope on her Twitter feed. There's so much great, crazy stuff that you can do out there now. But if we're talking about the live lunch audience, bite-sized chunks, what's the difference? Facebook, you need to be friends with somebody. Twitter, you can just follow them. So it's not like Barack Obama has got to accept your friend request. You can just, whoever, Robbie Williams, I don't know, whoever you're into. But on Twitter, you can just follow people and you can watch what's going on. You don't have to be connected. Is that the main difference? Why would I be on one and not the other? Because you can follow whoever you want to on one rather than having to be.
Right, we're live again now.
Oh, good. Okay,
this will be a separate hangout. Okay, so
I was just watching you playing with stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was just quickly saying that I find that most people tend to have a LinkedIn profile. They don't seem to be using it for anything in particular.
Yeah, so that would be true of me. I have a presence there, but I don't use it. So what should people like me do?
Well, I think the people that use LinkedIn successfully, they've got a connection strategy and they're probably using the groups. But actually, that's a really good segue. We ran a LinkedIn webinar within the Modern Marketing Club last year. Let me share my screen and I will show you where that is. That was run actually by a colleague of mine, Yamina Cortez. Is that? Share your screen. Here we are. So I'm going to share my screen. There we are. And I just want to show you, because we haven't actually shown you the Modern Marketing Club. So if you will indulge us for a moment, I'm going to show you. So here we are. So this is the modernmarketingclub.com. So if you'd like to join the Modern Marketing Club, this is where you need to go, the modernmarketingclub.com. And we've got, there's Lisa and I there. And a little bit of information on the club. There's lots of benefits. We've got lots of material here, training and bonuses, and I'll show you that in a second. We've got the 6-week social media quick start program. We've got a private Facebook group, so you can come along and ask questions in between the calls. Bonus training webinars, they're all included for Modern Marketing Club members. You can come and ask your questions. You have access to Lisa or I. We do updates. We've got lots of information on the page. And we've got a special offer because we're relaunching the Modern Marketing Club at the moment. It's usually £29 a month, which is about $47. We're actually launching at the moment for £7 for the first month, which is only $10. So that's what, 2 cups of coffee?
Unbelievable, Cass.
2 cups of coffee. And there's frequently asked questions there. And this is where you need to go. So if you do want to join the Modern Marketing Club, you go to the modernmarketingclub.com and click on sign up today. And when you click on that, you'll taken to a PayPal link where you log into your PayPal, and you can see here it says £7 for the first month and then £29 per month after that. If you want to continue, there's no minimum contract and you can stop any time. So let me just show you within the Modern Marketing Club. It's all being updated at the moment. I just want to show you what's already in the club. There's a real treasure chest in here of information. If you're new to the club, we've got a 6-week quick start training program here. So this literally, these are webinars that were recorded last year with the club. These take you through a 6-week program to start you up as a business owner using social media. Now, also within the club, we've got all the club calls recorded. So every time we do the live at lunch, or we've got different special topics. For example, this one was about growing your list. I ran a webinar on lead magnets. Lisa's going to talk about Pinterest in a moment. Lisa ran a fantastic Pinterest webinar. There we are, Pinterest Masterclass, Making Your Mark on Pinterest with Lisa Nichols. This was Lisa, all recorded. I'm
so glad it's recorded. I've got the memory of a goldfish. I can't remember what I said now.
And here we go. This is what I wanted to show. We were talking about LinkedIn, weren't we?
Oh, yes.
Yamina Cortez did a fantastic LinkedIn lead generation webinar, which is all recorded. Everything's included with the 1 monthly fee for the club, and she gave some fantastically powerful strategies. So I think rather than us talking about LinkedIn, join the club, listen to Yamina, and you can find out some really powerful strategies. Yamina runs a 6-figure business just on LinkedIn. So
I know this is going to sound so cheesy to say that's worth £7 alone, but she's a big fat hairy deal, top bird, isn't she? If she was doing that, it would be more than £7. So to be able to have access to, I think you're nuts, actually. Personally, I think you're nuts, but I can see your point. Let people try before they buy, sort of thing. But I found that so useful. All the information in there I found so useful.
So what happens is, just very quickly, is when you join the so you come to the modernmarketingclub.com, you sign up. If you haven't already signed up, you sign up to become a member, you get your PayPal link, you get a confirmation email, asks you to register. You only have to do that one time. And then when you come back to the Modern Marketing Club the next time, you can just go to the login button and just log in as a member, and you're straight into all that members' content.
Fabulous.
Right, so that's enough about, we've covered Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn.
Then we had a little break, and I was just going to ask you, I've got a couple of questions here about joining us.
And let's go back and...
Have we got another link to share so people can join us? I think it's probably easier now, isn't it, to just give them the recorded link. Because we're nearly...
I'm going to switch this off now.
Nearly finished.
There we are, we're back.
So let's have a look in my super duper notebook.
Now, Lisa, you're quite a Pinterest person, so we thought it would be worth...
Yes.
Shall I interview you about Pinterest? We haven't got long because we've got
that SME example as well, haven't we? You've got that up, so we can share the screen and look through that, and then that will keep me on track. Because otherwise, I'll waffle.
Right. Let me show you the. An SME, if you're not familiar, is Social Media Examiner. Now, this came through yesterday actually, and I thought this was really interesting. But have a look at this post. At least I'll let you talk to this, and I'll scroll down.
I'm having my fake fag here. They're not going to see me, are they?
No.
I'll put it away just in case. Look professional. Yes, so everything that we already knew is covered in this article, that Pinterest is going to, be set to surge in 2016. I think the thing is, if you're able to join us in the club and you are able to look at the masterclass I am a master, it was a class, but all joking aside, it was just top tips of how to actually get Pinterest to work for you. I think because it's the kind of place that people go to get inspired, to look for things that they want to buy. I've got huge Pinterest boards on doing up my different rooms in my house, and it really does make you think, oh, that's the very one I'd like, and click through. So the pin is like a screenshot of something on your website or something on somebody else's website, but you do click through to where that pin came from to find out more, to book, to buy, to hire. So without going too far into it, seeing as there's 1 minute left of our live at lunch today, have a look at. We'll put the link to this article in the comments as well, but I really would recommend that you take a punt on £7, because you can get all the recordings that we've done on all these subjects in the Modern Marketing Club.
Okay, and I think I'm not a Pinterest user. I have got a Pinterest account and I have got a Pinterest board, but I'm definitely not an active user. But I think if you just quickly look at the top line here, Pinterest users, and this is what I've heard as well, that people that are on Pinterest ready to buy, it's very female focused. If you've got a business that's targeting women, 70% of Pinterest users are women, and they're women that buy. So if you're selling product or you've got products and services of interest to women, definitely worth checking out Pinterest. The users doubled in the second half, so I don't know, but it looks to me as if Pinterest is one of the fastest growing social media platforms at the moment.
Yeah.
And because everything on social media is so visual anyway, I'm sure there'll be the whole video social marketing, which is something I'm really excited about at the moment.
Yeah, all the visual platforms are doing that, aren't they? I mean, we've got a 15-second video feature on Insta now, and you can put videos up on Pinterest now. It's definitely the way forward. I think we need to do a separate hangout on each of these, because I can see that it's already past, and we said we wouldn't waffle on and it would just be half an hour, but it's such a huge subject. I think that's why you need to be able to get the questions from our listeners, give signposts to where you can find the answers. And but when are we doing the next one?
Right, the next one is on the 4th of a couple of people are saying they've lost the feed. I'm sorry, we lost connection in the middle of our hangout, so I think we were allowed a couple of minutes, aren't we? Because by the time we put this back together, it will still be half an hour.
True.
So
yes.
I apologise if you were listening in and we suddenly disappeared. The whole internet went off, unfortunately. The next one, the next live at lunch social media hangouts, the 4th of June.
Yeah.
12 o'clock again, British summer time. And actually, I've got something very exciting to share with you. We're going to be talking about mailing lists, so email lists. Particularly, I've been using a new MailChimp strategy. And as Lisa says, we keep the live at lunch very top line. So I'm not going to go into the strategy. I'm going to tell you what the strategy is. And it's working really, really well. It's increasing response rate to email marketing by 30 to 50%, which is really, that's really, so it's a really interesting strategy. It's a very easy one to implement with MailChimp or Aweber or any of the main sort of email services out there. So that's what we're going to be talking about next time. So just wanted to tease you a little bit with that. And that's on the 4th of June. And I think that's it really from...
So anyone who wants to try the club, when does that expire? The end of this month?
31st of May. Yeah. So you've got till the 31st of May for the £7 special offer. You get to try, you get instant access to everything in the club from day one. So the minute you pay your £7, you get a login, you get into everything that we've just shown you, all the webinars, all the training.
That's madness.
It is madness. It is
I can't believe you're doing that.
And the private Facebook group, where you can hang out with other business owners, get all your questions
answered. That's madness. I pay £2,000 for things like that.
I know, it's madness.
We should be Americans. No, okay.
And I think I'd just like to say as well before we close that last year the members of the club did achieve things like sending out their first email blast and getting their first customers. And what a lady who started an online shop, hi Tracy, other people who've mastered Facebook or got a Facebook page up and running and had seen some good results with that. So, join the club because you do get results and you're not on your own. That's the thing. I think you're not out there trying to work out all of these things on your own. You've got support. You've got access, actually, not just to me, but to Lisa as well. You've access to both of us. And we're quite approachable and friendly, really.
We're definitely approachable and friendly. And sometimes we'll have people in the club who have the same kind of knowledge that you're looking for. So even members of the club can help each other. We're not.
That's right. We're not
the kind of people that would say, we're the only ones with the answer. If you've been there, some people have kind of like folksy or Etsy businesses, which neither Cassie nor I do, and they can give you great ideas on. I wouldn't go on not on the high street because this, but I would go. That. We've seen a lot of interaction with some very useful information shared amongst clubbers.
Absolutely, yeah, it's brilliant. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We know time's precious and we know everyone's really, really busy. So really appreciate you joining us today, or if you're watching recording, hope you're finding it useful. Please share your comments below, whether you're on YouTube or Google Plus or Facebook. We are checking the comments and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And if you've got any questions, we'll answer you in the comments, and we'll also signpost you to any resources that we think would be a quick win for you. And hopefully that should help. Well, if it stops raining in grey old England, hopefully we'll have a better internet connection next time. But thanks for joining.
Are you?
I don't know. I mean, you've got a strong Wi-Fi, which is why we do it here. Why would it suddenly time out like that? Very weird.
I don't know.
Rush outside and see if a tree's fallen down the power line.
Yeah. Well, we know we're back up in life. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next call.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.